Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to the channel. You know it's your boy Anime King 2, and today I'm gonna be giving you part 65 of Uchiha Naruto the Sage. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends on your social media platform, and also stay in tune because after this I'm gonna be giving you what if Naruto got a new bloodline. And also, go ahead and check out Anime King, my main channel, where you can enjoy over 600 lovely what ifs. And if you do enjoy the what ifs over there, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and join the Anime King family. So tonight over there, I'm gonna be posting what if Tsunade was Naruto's mother, and what if Kurama gave Naruto a dojutsu. So stay in tune for the lovely what ifs coming your way, and remember, click that red subscribe button. And also, if you're new to Anime King 2 and this is the first time you hear my voice, what are you waiting for guys? Go ahead and click that red subscribe button and join the Anime King family. And also comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying and talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into this. So the last time we left off, Naruto absorbed Kaguya as he got her power and his appearance changed. He then went around and collected the tail beasts, but he didn't kill their Jinjulkis, as their Jinjulkis were safe, as they woke up after a time. But Naruto didn't explain what he did. He then went to the council meeting where all of the Kages was, as Madara and him was there. Naruto then transported all of the Kages to a battlefield, as he let Madara have his fun. But Madara didn't kill any of them because Naruto said he must not. Naruto also collected the 8th tail from Killer Bee, and Killer Bee was still alive. After the battle was over, all of the Kages were defeated as they didn't compare to Madara. Naruto only has one other tail beast, and that is Kurama to collect. So with that, Naruto vanished with the Mizukage and the Kazekage as he brought them home safe with their guards. So yeah guys, that was basically the last part we left off. You guys can switch across the playlist and check it out for yourself. So let's start this new episode. We start this new episode in the Land of Dragon. Kurama was currently looking down at Naruto with hate in his eyes as he wanted to rip Naruto apart. As Naruto just finished telling Kurama that he needs to collect him. What I am doing is reviving the Jubi, said Naruto, and in doing so, you're going to deny my existence and the other Bijus, said Kurama. Yes, said Naruto, as he didn't deny anything. Foolish human, do you even know the danger that the Jubi possess? Do you understand its power? Kurama growled out. Do not treat me like a child, said Naruto, as he released some chakra, making Kurama froze. As Kurama never felt this much chakra before, not even from the old man. Still, he wasn't going to go down without a fight, as he raised his right paw, ready to swipe Naruto. Naruto's eyes flare at Kurama, as Kurama was sent flying back. Naruto then went through hand signs, summoning Jutsu, as a Gedo statue appeared. Kurama quickly did a Biju bomb and sent it toward the statue, but Naruto raised his hand as a Biju bomb was teleported to another dimension. The portal appeared behind Kurama and the Biju bomb came out, as Kurama quickly raised up his tail to block from his own Biju bomb, as it slammed into him. Gedo statue, take the Kyuubi in, Naruto commanded, as the Gedo statue charged at Kurama. A few minutes later, I have finally found this place, said Madara, as he saw Naruto standing on top of the Gedo statue. Naruto just finished sealing the Kyuubi. Madara, said Naruto, as he looked down at the man with narrow eyes. It can't be a coincidence that you happen to find this place just after I sealed the Kyuubi. It is not, said Madara. You have become too powerful, and if I waste more time, you may just increase your power. I have to play my card. Interesting, said Naruto, as he looked down at Madara. The Gedo statue then poofed away as Naruto fell to the ground, as he stood on his feet. Madara then brought up his hand, holding a single hand sign. It was then Naruto felt excruciating pain all over his body. It was like his muscles were being torn apart one by one. as he tried not to scream, as this was unlike anything he had ever felt before. As, from his shoulders to ankles, chakra rods sprouted all over Naruto's body, as he was also panting and sweating heavily. "How?" said Naruto. "I thought my death, and fusing with Kaguya, will remove your hold over my body." "Well, I lied back then. My cells that I placed inside of you, they didn't fuse with you. They had nothing to do with your awakening over the sharingan or the Rinnegan," Madara said as he walked up to Naruto, as the amount of rods inside of Naruto he wouldn't be able to move. "So you use your cells and put them inside of me, so you'll be able to control me," said Naruto. "How didn't I see this coming?" "I don't blame you for not seeing it. You can't see everything," Madara stated, as his Susanoo flared up around him. "Do you plan to kill me?" Naruto asked, as Madara merely smiled. "Not at all. Why would I kill my only grandchild? I just need to weaken you," as Madara then stabbed Naruto with the Susanoo blade right through his stomach and it pierced through his back. So when Naruto is weakened, there would be less resistance. As Madara deactivated Susanoo and the blade was still embedded in Naruto, Madara walked closer to Naruto as Naruto asked, "What are you doing, grandfather?" "Well, my grandson, right now you're much more powerful than me. I cannot even equal you. I knew that you would surpass me someday. However, even though I am proud, I must complete my goal and put this world under the infinite Tsukiyomi. Perhaps in that world, you will smile like how your mother would have wanted you," Madara stated. "What are you talking about?" Naruto asked. "When she was dying, she said some nice words to you. You just couldn't understand because you had just been born," Madara said as he raised his hand. "That is for next day." "What are you going to—" as Naruto was cut off as Madara shoved his finger into Naruto's left eye socket as he pulled out Naruto's left eye as Naruto screamed out in pain. "The Gedo statue must be in one of your dimensions. That is why I can't summon it. However, I know I can access your dimensions with your left eye," as Madara pushed the eye into his empty right socket. Madara then slammed both of his hands together and the chakra rods started to glow as Madara was taking Naruto's chakra, as Naruto's hair started to change from yellow to white, as Madara then stopped. "Why can I only take your chakra?" Madara said as he felt power coursing through Naruto's veins, but he cannot access that. "Don't worry, I'll figure that out soon, but stay right here. I will search your dimensions for the Gedo statue," as Madara disappeared in one of the dimensions. Naruto cursed as he couldn't use his chakra or any of his abilities, and his weakened body was not doing him any favor. A few minutes later, Madara arrived as his Susanoo came to life as the blade swiped Naruto, sending him crashing into a large boulder. As Madara then appeared in front of Naruto, the Susanoo hand grabbed Naruto and raised him up in the air. "Where is it? Why cannot I summon it?" As Madara started to squeeze Naruto as some of Naruto's bones started to break. As Naruto still spoke, "I never said that he was in one of my dimensions. And as long as I live in this world, doesn't matter if you use my eye, you will not summon the Gedo statue." Madara raised Naruto up in the air as he slammed him down hard as the rods dig into Naruto's flesh, causing him more pain. As Madara activated his perfect Susanoo as he brought down the blade hard, but he didn't hit Naruto with it. He stabbed it into the ground. "Relinquish your control over it now," Madara stated. "No," said Naruto. Madara didn't even think twice as he pulled out his blade and then swiped it down on Naruto as it created a boom as Madara then turned away. When Madara turned around back, he saw Naruto slowly walking away. He must have sacrificed more of his power to escape my swipe, but that is better. As Madara then got back down to the ground, deactivating Susanoo. As Naruto, cloak was torn apart. He was all bloody. Some more rods were sticking through him. As Madara then looked at him, Naruto coughed up some blood as he dropped to his knees. "Summon the Gedo statue, or do I have to kill you and find it myself?" said Madara. As Naruto took deep breaths. "Do as you like," he said. As Madara's Susanoo flared up again. "I will make sure you pay for this," Madara said, as he walked to Naruto. But Naruto opened his hand as a small black ball came out. As he threw it up in the air, as Madara created some distance between the two of them, the black ball then exploded as Madara had to look away because of all the debris and dust, as he couldn't see anything at the moment. When the explosion calmed down, there was a large crater, and no Naruto. "Damn it, he got away," Madara cursed. The next day, Yugito was at the Sound Village as she just entered the Crystal Palace. "You came here sooner than he expected," Guren said as she looked at Yugito. "Where is he?" Yugito demanded, looking straight at Guren. She was here for Naruto. Nothing else mattered. "Watch your tone, Yugito," Guren warned, as she wasn't going to allow anyone to speak to her like that. "Naruto is not here. I haven't seen him for a while now. And if you're going to speak like that, I may not give him information of your arrival." "Listen here, Guren. Naruto took away something important from me, and he told me to come here so he can fix things. You either get him down here, or I will find a way to get him down here," said Yugito. "You're misunderstanding things," Yugito said Guren. "He didn't call you down here because he wanted to fix things. It's only pity because he was a Jinchuriki like you. However, that pity can be withdrawn in the blink of an eye." As Yugito gritted her teeth. "Will you just bring him down here?" "It depends," said Guren, before Yugito could respond. "It's alright, Guren," said Naruto, as Yugito spun around as she saw Naruto behind her, but she didn't even feel his presence. "When did he get here?" "Follow me," said Naruto as Yugito got up, as she started to follow behind Naruto as the both of them disappeared into nothing but darkness. When she started to see again, Yugito looked around as she found herself in a large hallway. The hall was dimly lit as she couldn't see clearly what was exactly around her, as she figured that she was teleported into Naruto's own palace. As she looked ahead and saw him, he was sitting on a throne with his head resting on his palm. The only thing that showed was his glowing red sharingan eye. As she started to walk until Naruto spoke. "Don't come near," he said. As something was wrong, his voice lacked the power and the firmness that it usually spoke, and she knew that something was wrong here as she took another step forward. "Do not come near," said Naruto. As she realized what was wrong, his voice was weak, as it was like someone who was bedridden. It wasn't the same voice of the same Naruto who took away her Biju. She never heard him sound so weak, or she never thought that she would get that feeling from him, weakness. As she defied his tone and stepped forward, as the aura around him felt weak, as his skin was pale and his face didn't show the amount of power that it usually show. It was something different altogether. But why should she care? He was her enemy. He took away her reason to live. She was no longer useful to A. The people who respected her didn't anymore because she no longer had a use. Now she was told to stay out of things like dangerous mission because without the Nibi, she wasn't as strong as she used to be. Even without her Biju, she was still Jonin level in strength, but she was now being treated like a genin. She now felt useless because of him. It was his fault, as she wanted to take this at her advantage and rip him apart because of his weak state. But her heart tell her otherwise. As she moved a bit closer and ran her hand across his right cheek, he never even blinked or twitched or anything like that, as his skin was cold. "Are you okay?" she asked with concern in her tone, as she did not know where it was coming from. He was her enemy after all. Are you trying to become intimate with me, woman? Naruto asked. But because of his weak tone, she didn't step back, as she just moved her hand. Are you alright? She asked again. He blinked, but he didn't move. Why have you come here? And answer carefully, he said. You took away something from me that made me useless, and I don't want to be useless anymore. And you said, I should come to you, and here I am. A will not be happy when he realizes that you're dealing with the enemy. But since you came here, I will give you what your desire is. But not now. Be a little patient. Yugito couldn't help herself. I figured that you couldn't do anything in this pathetic state. What happened to you anyways? When I give you what you desire, I want you to do something for me, said Naruto, as she just looked at him. As she couldn't tell A about his weak state, as she knew that A would march all of his forces come here and destroy the Sound Village, and what she saw when she came in here, children's playing and laughing, normal civilians, all of their life will be lost. So she wasn't going to tell that. The following day at Konoha, this is becoming a familiar sight, Kakashi said, as he walked over to Ichiraku Ramen. As he saw Yugito eating ramen and chatting with Amy. Senpai, are you stalking me? Yugito asked as she looked at Kakashi at the corner of her eye. She has been noticing that Kakashi has been kind of checking and spying on her since the incident with the 5 Kages and Madara and Naruto involvement. Maybe, said Kakashi with a shrug, before ordering his ramen. You know, you can just admit that you're worried about me. I am not going to bite, Yugito said, with a small smile on her face. I am worried, said Kakashi, rather calmly. Now, was that hard? She asked, as she turned around to face him. How are you? He asked. I am fine. Everyone keep asking me if I'm fine. Seriously, Yugito said as she shook her head. They are just worried about you, Yugito. You were the one that was close to him before he left, Amy said as she got in the conversation. Someone also should be worried about you, Amy, Yugito said, turning the tables on Amy. I may have been in a relationship with Naruto, but the both of you were like family when he was little, and mine was short, but you and him had a long relationship. I am alright, said Amy. I am used to Naruto disappearing. And he said goodbye this time, she said, getting a raised eyebrow from Yugito. He actually came by and said goodbye to you? Kakashi asked as he looked at Amy, as she nodded with a sad smile on her face. Back with Yugito, she was going back to the Cloud Village as she was speeding, thinking that the Raikage might be looking for her. As Naruto's face kept on playing in her head, as it was kind of sad to see him like that, as he always seemed proud of his own power, but now it seemed like he was stripped of all of it. Even though he was her enemy, she felt something in her heart when she saw him like that. It got her curious. Who could have done something like that to him? Maybe Madara? But he looks like he was really sick. He did not seem to be suffering from any injury that he got from a battle. Back then, with the Kage's meeting, he seemed fine, but now he was miserable and she could see it all over his face. Nevertheless, he was still Uchiha Naruto, as she thought that only forces of nature and Madara could do that to him, as she was also surprised that he would allow her to see him in that state. Perhaps he was testing her. Of all the Jinchurikis, she was the one who he personally saved. He even offered to give her something that would make her useful again. Normally, she would have refused, as the Raikage was after him and he was the enemy. But there was just something pushing her to go to him. And he also said that he wanted her to do something for him. As, why didn't she refuse it? She didn't even care what the Raikage would say about her visit to the enemy. Why did I even touch him? And look at him with concern. Why did I do that? She asked herself. You look troubled, said a voice. as Samui brought Yugito out of her thoughts, as she was close to the cloud village, so she was walking on the ground. Samui was standing on a tree branch in front of her. Naruto got to you, Samui asked. How did you know where I was? Yugito asked. You were being followed since you entered the border of the cloud country, Samui said. Yugito walked up towards her before responding. I have been so lost in my thought, I never even noticed, she said, shaking her head. And what did you mean by Naruto got to me? Well, Yugito, there are little things in this world that concern me, but when I met him, my world became a bit bigger, and I found myself interested in him. He's an interesting person after all. My conversation with him was actually cool, and before I know it, he got to me, Samui said, as the both of them started to walk forward. I don't understand what you're saying, said Yugito. It's okay, Samui said. Did you get what you wanted? No. He told me to be patient, said Yugito, looking at Samui curiously. Why do I get the feeling that you're familiar with Naruto? Samui did not respond. Let us pick up our pace. The Raikage is very furious with you, but I have managed to smooth things over with you. And if you say exactly what I tell you, you won't get into trouble. The fact that Naruto took away the Haxabi from B has changed. He even stopped rapping. And you know, Yugito, that Lord Raikage will never see you in the same light as he see Killer B. And lately, he has become suspicious of everyone. Naruto saved you from the Akatsuki, only to come back later to take your Biju. And to make things worse, you also went to see him, and you knew how I feel about him. And you are no longer important, as when you were at Jinchuriki, actions like this won't be overlooked. I know, and I know that A will no longer look at me in the same way after this, Yugito said as she placed her right arm over her chest. But yet, it doesn't worry me. I know, but it still doesn't change things. You are a cloud shinobi and you will be punished. But you're lucky that I have smoothed things over. Why? Yugito asks. You are my friend, and I know that you would never betray the cloud, said Samui, as Yugito just nodded. Days later, in the stone village, Kurasuke was at her own house as her grandfather left some days ago and he didn't tell her where he was going. As suddenly, she felt something behind her as she quickly spun around. Who are you? She said. My name is not important, the man said, as he had black hair. I am a messenger from the Sound Village. Kurasuke then appeared in front of him with a burst of speed as he placed a kunai at his neck. Now tell me why I shouldn't slit your throat. Because I'm behind you, said a voice, as she quickly spun around to see the man behind her, as the one in front of her just dissolved into darkness. As the man turned his back to her and started to walk to her table with papers on it. As this man has a nerve to come into her home and show his back to her. As the man then took a seat. What do you want? She asked. I have a message from the Majesty, the man said, speaking of Naruto. What does he want from me? She asked, as she felt like raising her chakra to make people know that something is going on so they can capture this man. But he seemed to be on his guard. You just have to answer a single question, the man said. And if I refuse? She asked. You are not obligated to answer the question, but if you refuse, well, I am going to advise you to answer this question if you care for this village. Is that a threat? She asked, as she narrowed her eyes at him. Not at all, the man said, shaking his head. But your grandfather has arrived in the Cloud Village. They plan to discuss how they are going to deal with the Majesty and Uchiha Madara. Madara has already defeated them once, and this time if they challenge him again, they will be killed. Kurasuke snorted. Like that will ever happen. Gramps won't be defeated. Not again. He may be old, but he isn't weak. How naive. Perhaps the Majesty was right about you. You're certainly a child, No wonder Oniki never let you in on serious matters. What? Here to repeat that again, she said, as she didn't like when people called her a child, and especially naive. I am just a messenger, yet I was able to infiltrate this village and enter your house without being caught. I could have killed you if I wanted to. Majesty's power is beyond your imagination, amongst anything you can comprehend. And I tell you, if this village and the cloud succeed and bind their forces together and try to attack the Majesty, both villages will be destroyed. You underestimate the cages, said Kurasaki, as she just couldn't believe that one man could destroy both villages on his own. I am not underestimating anything. You will all come to face the Majesty's power, and you all will have one choice. But you must answer this question. Your love for your village or your hatred towards His Majesty, which will you pick? As Kurasaki went silent for a moment, this is a good response. You didn't jump to respond without thinking it over. Perhaps you're not a child, but what will you do when you are faced with that reality? The man then stood up. Although this is not the answer, it is good enough for me, as he then disappeared into nothingness. What the hell was that about? Kurasaki asked herself, as the man vanished, as there were no trace of the man left. Later that day with Sasuke, he threw himself on the bed. Idiots, he said, as he just came back from the rookie team from the academy, as they were planning on taking care of Naruto, thinking that the grown-ups will take care of Madara. Do they really think that they could take care of Naruto? As Sasuke was confused himself, was Naruto the real enemy? Or was Konoha the real enemy? Nevertheless, Naruto has not promised to destroy Konoha. He never even threatened the village. So why was he called a traitor? If Naruto was planning on revenge, then he would understand. Konoha abused him and then spat him out, but Naruto never called on revenge. After collecting the bijous, Naruto seemed to disappear from the face of the earth. Even those in his own village don't see him. What was he planning then? Suddenly, Sasuke felt everything around him going black. As he snapped back open his eyes, as he saw a figure in front of him. Who are you? Sasuke asked. My name is Hagoromo. Those of your generation may know me as a sage of six paths. But guys, I'm gonna be ending this episode right here. If you want to see the next part of this, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember to share to all of your friends and social media platform. But for now, I'm out, guys. Peace.